Police must at all times act within the ambit of the law and must not violate the fundamental human rights of Nigerians whom they have sworn to protect.
Presidential panel on the reform of SARS submits report, indicts some senior police officers. Private universities get government's support.
We've suffered a lot on this pension increase. The other time it was increased, salary were increased. They've just finished paying our 33% in April. Whereas workers have collected their own.
Give us a voice on the committee to work out adjustments on new minimum wage. Senior citizens who retired from the federal service appeal. Hello there, thanks for joining us on NTN Network News tonight. I am Joseph Johnson in Abuja, and Michael Olaleye will also be reading with me tonight from Lagos. Let's begin with security matters. The presidential panel on the reform of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigeria Police has submitted its report to the federal government with far-reaching recommendations aimed at improving public safety and security in the country. President Muhammad Buhari, who received the report, directed the Inspector General of Police, Solicitor General of the Federation and the National Human Rights Commission to work out modalities for its implementation within 3 months. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports.
The panel was constituted in August last year following a presidential directive to investigate allegations of human rights violations and abuse of office against the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and recommend critical reform measures aimed at making the Nigeria Police the pride of the Nigerian people. Presenting its report to the president, the panel chaired by Mr. Tony Ojukwu announced that 35 police officers have been recommended for dismissal, 24 for prosecution, and 2 retired senior police officers found to have violated the rights of citizens be arrested and prosecuted immediately. One of them for extrajudicial killing and the other for illegal takeover of the property of a suspect.
The panel also directed the Inspector General of Police to unravel the identity of 22 officers involved in the violation of human rights of innocent citizens. The police was also directed to pay compensation of various sums to 45 complainants and tender apologies in 5 complaints and directed to obey court orders in 5 of the matters. The panel also recovered 2 vehicles illegally auctioned by SARS officers and returned them to their owners.
Similarly, in its quest towards ensuring that Nigeria has a responsive, responsible, efficient, and effective police institution to decisively deal with criminality, the panel recommended significant improvement in the funding and kitting of the Nigeria Police, establishment of state and local government police force, as well as the renaming of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad to Anti-Robbery Section.
This will also remove the stigma presently associated with the name SARS, ensuring that the anti-robbery section limits itself to tackling armed robbery, while other intelligence and operational units are strengthened to perform their various special tasks.
President Muhammad Buhari expressed optimism that the report will go a long way towards redressing public grievances, ensuring accountability on the part of police officers in discharging their responsibilities, and facilitating the various reforms being introduced by his administration. Already, he said, major steps have been taken to increase the workforce of the Nigeria Police, as well as enhance the welfare of police officers who put their lives on the front line so that Nigerians can freely go about their daily activities in safety.
The police must at all times act within the ambit of the law and must not violate the fundamental human rights of Nigerians whom they have sworn to protect. Where the rights of Nigerians are violated by police officers while discharging their functions, the government has a responsibility to address the instances of violation in line with its human rights obligations and ensure that such police officers are held accountable for their actions. I want to assure you and all Nigerians that this administration will continue to fulfill its obligations of promoting and protecting human rights, and will give the National Human Rights Commission all the support required to ensure full implementation of the recommendation contained in its report.
The National Human Rights Commission will also be strengthened to enhance its effectiveness and capability to resolve cases of human rights violations, as modalities are being worked out for the implementation of the panel report within 3 months.
The end result would be for the betterment of the police. So we'll look at it passionately to make sure that nobody is punished unjustifiably.
The Buhari presidency believes that public complaints on human rights violations, if neglected, could result into major security challenges. From the State House, Ahmed Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the presidency says President Muhammad Buhari has not approved the creation of state and local government police, as suggested in some reports. In a statement by the senior special assistant to the president, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the president only received a report on the reform of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad and specifically directed that a 3-man panel be set up to produce the white paper, which will form the basis of the decision of government on the many recommendations by the Ojukwu panel. Until a white paper is produced, it will be premature and preemptive to suggest that the recommendations contained in the report have been approved by the president in part or whole. And in New York, we hear that the Nigerian mission is prepared for the likely election of Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations. Professor Tijani Muhammad Bande as the president of the 74th United Nations General Assembly. Now, Joy Usiagu reports that a delegation arrived from Nigeria on Sunday ahead of the election scheduled for Tuesday. Nigerian diplomats from various missions and a few from their headquarters in Abuja are meeting at the Mission House in New York to go through the final document and the vision of the African and Nigeria presidency. Other member nations are looking forward to Professor Bande's presidency and his vision for a more proactive United Nations. And our correspondent Joy Usiagu joins us now via Skype. Hello, Joy. It's been quite a while. It's good to see you. What more can you tell us about this election, especially Nigeria's chances of being elected the 74th president? What are the selling points, if you like?
This is going to be a walkover. Member nations are actually looking forward to the election of an African president, and Nigeria for that matter. So they've been on it for quite a while. The process has been excellent from the beginning, where Professor Bande had a meeting with his colleagues, and they're all looking forward to his election tomorrow. They have discussed his vision. They've looked at what he's bringing to the table. Although it's not a radical departure from what has been on ground, they're hoping to see how he intends to approach most of the issues that he's bringing to the front burner, which coincidentally are global issues.
Okay, Joy, the President of the General Assembly is usually elected by unanimous decision of the Assembly members. What feelings are you getting from other members about Nigeria's candidature, and who are the other contenders to the position?
The talk basically is about Nigeria's presidency, and it's like a unanimous decision. They're focusing on the fact that Professor Bande, considering the fact that he's had a very successful career as a diplomat and as a scholar, he would handle this office in a very constructive manner. And he's been able to discuss issues surrounding global challenges like terrorism, fighting corruption, climate change, gender issues. So his vision encompasses the basic tenets of the United Nations decisions concerning if you like, the Sustainable Development Goals. And these are issues that they all work together as member nations to address. And so it falls in naturally that this is the right candidate for the position. I met a few of them earlier and they did excited, and they're hoping to see what will happen tomorrow.
Okay, Joe, but you didn't quite tell us the other contenders to the position.
Professor Bande, like I said, he is the one that they're paying attention to at the moment, and he's the top for the moment.
Okay, just before I let you go, Joy, what exactly is in this position for Nigeria?
Interesting question, and that's the kind of question that Professor Bande, as he said in an interview I had earlier on with him, would like to answer this way. The United Nations General Assembly is about 192 member nations. So he's looking at it from a holistic perspective. However, this vision of his has elements that resonate with President Muhammad Buhari's agenda. And that's talking about issues of climate change, terrorism, fighting corruption, and being able to repatriate stolen funds back to countries like Nigeria. So you see, it's resonating in this vision. So for Nigeria, there's a whole lot in it. And I know that that's why the Nigerian government is supporting him fully. A very strong delegation arrived yesterday. And with that kind of backing from Nigeria and many African countries, you can be rest assured that Nigeria's interest is well protected.
Thank you very much indeed, Joy Osiagu, speaking for us there in the U.S. And of course, we'll be looking forward to getting more updates from you as you get them. All right, back home now, President Muhammad Buhari this evening joined the Muslim community in the State House for the closing ceremony of this year's Ramadan tafsir. State House correspondent Ahmed Musa reports that the tafsir was presided over by the Chief Imam of the State House Mosque, Ustaz Abdul Wahid Suleiman. The Imam admonished the faithful to keep the virtues and values of Ramadan alive, even after the holy month for eternal peace and salvation. He particularly admonished leaders to be just and fair, and the rich to continue to be helpful to the needy, in line with the teachings of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. The Ramadan tafsir is an opportunity for the Muslim Ummah to understand the miraculous nature of the Quran as book of guidance, the truthfulness of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and their relationship with Allah, the Creator. Ustaz Suleiman led prayers to Allah for sustainable peace, unity and prosperity of the country, as well as the success of President Buhari's second term in office. Now, President Muhammad Buhari has expressed satisfaction with the conduct of peaceful elections in Nigeria, despite what he called doomsday predictions of social disharmony. In his Ramadan message he issued by his senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, the president commended Nigerians and INEC for a good job despite the initial difficulties, and praised the electorate for their tenacity and strong faith in the democratic process. President Muhammad Buhari promised Nigerians that their sacrifices in voting for him will not be in vain, as they will feel the positive impact of his administration. The president urged Muslims to always put humanity before personal interests, reminding them that Ramadan period is meant to reinforce their spirituality, and also advised them to use religion as an inspiration to do good to all at all times. President Buhari also uses the occasion to commiserate with victims of terrorism, kidnapping and banditry in the country. He reassured Nigerians that under no circumstances will criminals and mass murderers be allowed to hold the country to ransom, promising that his administration will pursue them relentlessly and bring them to justice. President of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, has congratulated Muslim faithful on the celebration of the Eid-el-Fitri, which followed the successful observance of the month-long Ramadan fast. Saraki, in a statement by his special advisor on media and publicity, Yusuf Olanionu, said the prayers and sacrifices of the Muslim Ummah during the period contributed greatly to the relative peace witnessed across the country in the last 1 month. He urged all Nigerians to seize the momentum of the completion of this year's Ramadan to work for sustainable peace, security and economic well-being of the country. In his own message, Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara has urged Muslim Ummah to sustain and replicate the lessons of Ramadan in all aspects of life. The Speaker stressed the need for lending a helping hand to the needy at all times, as well as prayers for peace, unity and development of the country. Yakubu Dogara solicited prayers for leaders to steer country's affairs with wisdom to achieve growth and overcome security challenge. And as Muslims prepare for the Eid-el-Fitri celebration, the Nigerian police force has assured Nigerians of adequate security during the festival. In a statement released by the force public relations officer Frank Mba, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has directed all Inspectors General and Commissioners of Police across the zones and states to intensify security across Eid praying grounds, including recreation centres. The Inspector General of Police advised members of the public to be vigilant and report any suspicious movement or activities around them to nearby police stations. Similarly, the Federal Road Safety Corps has assured Nigerians of massive deployment of its personnel to the highways to guarantee the safety of motorists during and after the Eid-el-Fitri celebration. In a statement signed by the FRSC Public Education Officer Bisi Kazim, the FRSC Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi appealed to travellers to take necessary precautions and report any emergency to the short code 112 or 0702 255 3772. The airlift of pilgrims for the 2019 Easter pilgrimage to Jerusalem is underway in Abuja. Now, the first contingent in the pilgrimage left the shores of Nigeria this Sunday. Dele Atumbi reports.
The first set of pilgrims from Nigeria comprises 350 persons with homogeneous background from Benue State. This homogeneity of the pilgrims makes the flag-off of the 2019 Easter pilgrimage to be unique, as they adorn themselves with uniform. The pilgrims took time out to pray for the unity of the country, all the arms of government, and the prosperity of the people therein.
The church needs to engage the nation in a more positive, more aggressive, and play a more central role in lifting Nigeria out of where it is right now.
To be good ambassadors of the country, and then to portray good images of themselves, and at the same time to abide by the rules and regulations of the respective countries.
The pilgrims are expected back in Nigeria after the 8 days of spiritual exercise. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News live on the NTA. We have more news ahead, but that's after the commercial break. Join us again. Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to NTN Network News. The Afe Babalola University Multi-System Hospital at Ado-Ekiti has successfully carried out its first open heart surgery. Now, founder of the university, Are Afe Babalola, says the 9-year-old ivory tower with excellence in all spheres, including medicine, law and engineering, is providing modern technologies and qualified manpower to reduce the number of Nigerians traveling abroad for medical treatment. Samuel Johnson reports.
The sojourn of Are Afe Babalola in the legal profession and the adventure into tertiary education, as well as experienced intellectuals and technocrats, have combined to make the Association of Committee of Vice Chancellors of Nigerian Universities to see ABUAD as Center for Excellence. The latest of the achievements of this university, established in the year 2010, is the successful open heart surgery by the ABUAD Multi-System Hospital, which also has modern technologies to make recuperation operation faster than ever in the 400-bed space hospital with 5 modular theaters and pneumatic tube system, in addition to telemedicine facilities.
What you see now is that the private institution is going to be the one to lead the government and tell the government how to do this.
Far more publicity. To the founder, it has proved that Nigerians do not need to travel abroad any longer for medical treatment.
Abuja has come to provide the modern, most sophisticated medical care equipment anywhere in this part of the world.
I get to learn more about procedures, about equipments they use, and how they are so careful.
It's really a very wonderful experience.
One of the patients screened and treated in the 2-day cardiac medical mission had surgery, during which the faulty valve of the heart was removed and successfully replaced. In Ado-Ekiti, Samuel Johnson, NTA News.
The federal government has pledged to support privately owned universities in its bid to strengthen academic excellence in the country. The pledge was made by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, when he attended the graduation ceremony of one of such universities at Ilison Remo, Ogun State. The SGF said that the government will continue to create favorable atmosphere for the private sector to thrive in the country in pursuit of its growth and development of the entire nation. He said he is impressed with the infrastructure, ambience and serene atmosphere for teaching and learning in the school, and commended it for combining spiritual values and learning, which are evident in the lecturers and students.
From here, Nigeria will be able to harvest great leaders, young men and women, who will go all out into the world to do exploits for this country.
The President and Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Tayo Ademola, said that the institution has proved its mettle as a top-ranked university in its 20 years of existence in the country. Professor Ademola stated that over 2,000 graduates will be awarded various degrees, including postgraduate. 62 in the first degree category graduated with first class. Pensioners in the Federal Civil Service under the umbrella of the Nigerian Union of Pensioners have appealed to the federal government to include them in the committee to work out implementation of minimum wage so their voices can be heard. The appeal for President Buhari's intervention was made during a peaceful protest by the pensioners to the office of the Secretary to the Federation, where the letter of protest was submitted.
We've suffered a lot on this pension increase. The other time it was increased, salary were increased. They've just finished paying our 33% in April. Whereas workers have collected their own. So we want the federal government to include us so that by the time worker review comes out, our own too will come out.
The senior citizens want their pensions to be implemented at the same time. Nigerian workers are receiving the new minimum wage to avoid backlog of arrears. The unrelenting efforts of operatives of the Intelligence Response Unit, a Special Tactical Squad, Police Mobile Force Counter-Terrorism Unit and the Special Forces attached to Operation Puff Adder have resulted in the dismantling of, on 25th May 2019, of a 4-man international arms smuggling syndicate. A statement by the Force Public Relations Officer DCP Frank Mba says the criminal gang operates between parts of North African, the Sahel region and West African countries. A total of 6,000 AK-47 live ammunition were recovered from them. The 4-man syndicate comprising Ojomo Olugbenga, 45 years, native of Akure Central, Ondo State; Oladimeji Adeogun, 50 years, native of Ido local government area of Oyo State. 3. Habib Musbao, 24 years old, native of Oluyole, local government area of Oyo State, and Thomas Olumoyiwa, 54 years old, native of Odo Ota, local government area of Ogun State, were arrested at Saki Town, Nigeria-Benin Republic border in Oyo State. In addition, another set of 24 AK-47 rifles, 4 pump-action guns, 11 den guns, 10 English pistol, 2 single-barrel guns, 1 set of army camouflage uniform, and 22 live cartridges were recovered from other criminal gangs in different parts of the country. In continuation of the ongoing operations to clear terrorists from the Lake Chad area, troops of the multinational joint task force in conjunction with national forces have killed 20 terrorists operating around Arege and Tumbum Rego general area. A statement by the Chief of Military Public Information in Jamena, Chad, Colonel Timothy Antra, indicates that several gun trucks, arms, vehicle and borne improvised explosive device were recovered and destroyed. 4 soldiers that sustained injuries during the offensive have been evacuated for treatment. This is the network news on the network service of the NTA. Let's join Michael Olale in Lagos for more news now.
Thank you, Joseph, and welcome to the Center of Excellence. Former Acting Director General of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Callistus Obi, has been sentenced to 7 years imprisonment with an option of fine. Justice Mojisola Olatoregun of the Federal High Court delivered the judgment in Lagos. Vera Chimuba has more.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has charged the former Acting Director General of NIMASA, Callistus Obi, and Alu Dismas, personal assistant to Patrick Apoblokeme, on accounts of 136 million naira fraud. Also charged were 2 companies, Grand Part Limited and Global Seal Investment Limited, as defendants. The court had convicted the defendants after he found them guilty of allegations contained in the charge. Justice Mojisola Olatoregun, while delivering judgment, noted the prevailing situation of prisons, which he observed were full, congested, and unconducive, which necessitated the consideration of a non-custodial sentence. She, however, said the punishment will serve as deterrent to public officers entrusted with public funds. They were sentenced to 7 years imprisonment or an option of 7 million naira fine in 6 places, amounting to 42 million naira. The court, however, said the terms of imprisonment shall run concurrently, while the fine shall be computed cumulatively. In Lagos, Vera Chimuba, NTA News.
It is still a nightmare for motorists flying routes leading to Apapa and its environs. This is because trucks have returned to some parts of the roads and bridges previously cleared. Dotun Ogunyemi has a situation report from the road.
Queue of trucks are still visible on a long stretch of the road, even as more trucks and containers try to make their way to the ports daily. Life here, just like the business, is moving, but at a very slow pace, despite its adverse effects on the environment, social life, and the economy. Truck drivers practically live on these roads. They practice open defecation, eat, and sleep here.
3 days now, at the region for here. You know they work for inside the AP Mula, they don't work for there.
Before now, at least we are doing 2 trips per day at times. But now, getting to a month now, our truck cannot carry only one load outside.
This persistent gridlock requires a solution, and fast. However, having proven defiant to strategies, directives, and policies over the past 10 years, critical infrastructure such as road, trailer parks, holding bays, as well as the plight of anyone who still calls Apapa home, need to be addressed. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
Cynics Limited, a high-tech company which specializes in production and sales of electronic gadgets, has named a popular football player, Ahmed Musa, as its brand ambassador. The brand ambassador was unveiled at a media briefing in Lagos, which also featured the launch of a 65-inch television set. Uzezi Aruri has the details.
Mr. Shirley! Ahmed Musa is a Nigerian professional footballer who became the first Nigerian to score more than once in a FIFA World Cup match after scoring twice against Argentina in the 2014 FIFA World Cup and repeated the feat against Iceland in 2018. The brand's ambassador's first assignment was the unveiling of an addition to the consumer's viewing pleasure, a 65-inch television set.
3, 2, 1.
Happy today to be an ambassador of Cynics, and I'm going to say thank you very much for coming to Nigeria.
Cynics is committed to providing consumers with high-quality and smart technological products, ranging from televisions, home theaters, air conditioners, and refrigerators. The big appliances attract a 24+1 month warranty, while the small appliances carry a 12+1 month warranty, with the best after-sales service centers in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, among others.
Cynics is a new brand. We started this business from 2015 in Nigeria, and it's growing so fast. And the quality product and the best service is two key elements of Cynics.
Cynics products are available in markets in Africa, Middle East, Asia, and emerging markets around the world. In Lagos, Uzezi Arure, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. More reports after this commercial break. Please stay tuned.
Sorry about the mix-up there, but now we join Sokoto, where the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Saad Abubakar, is about to announce the sighting of the moon and end the Ramadan fast.
Day of Shawwal, 1440 after Hijrah of our most noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is equivalent to 3rd June 2019, marked the end of Ramadan 1440 after Hijrah. Reliable reports of moon sighting were received from Muslim leaders across the country, such as the Sheikh of Borno, Emir of Gwandu, Emir of Duse, Emir of Jama'ah in Kaduna, Emir of Guru and Machina in Yobe, Emir of Damatru in Yobe, and also in some parts of Sokoto here, which were duly accepted by us. Consequently, tomorrow, Tuesday, the 4th day of June 2019, becomes the first day of Shawwal 1440 AH, and therefore the Eid-el-Fitri. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of us for the ibadah we performed in the holy month of Ramadan with Al-Jannah Firdaus, and answer the prayers we offered for his blessings for our leaders at all levels in our great country Nigeria to succeed in steering the affairs of this great country, as well as for the sustenance of peace, stability, and development. We also urge all Muslims to continue to live peacefully with one another, irrespective of religious and tribal differences. Eid Mubarak to you all. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyil karim. Yan jama'a musulmi maza da mata, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A bisa ga sharuɗan shari'ar musulunci, muna cike da farin cikin sanar da ku cewa yau ranar litinin 29 ga watan Ramadan
Sultan of Sokoto there announcing the sighting of the moon and end of Ramadan fast. Let's quickly take a break now. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. Members of the diplomatic community in Nigeria have been urged to impress on their home governments the necessity for increasing cooperation and collaboration with Nigeria towards defeating terrorism and insurgency wherever they rear their heads. President Muhammadu Buhari made the appeal while hosting them to the breaking of the Ramadan fast. State House correspondent Adam Sambo has details.
This is the first official encounter between President Muhammadu Buhari and members of the diplomatic community since his inauguration for a second term of office. It is therefore an opportunity to express Nigeria's appreciation for their efforts at promoting excellent relations with their respective countries. His administration, President Buhari said, is also grateful for their cooperation in terms of provision of equipment and intelligence support towards combating insurgency. The president, however, said with terrorism as a global phenomenon, more support is still required as Nigeria is still battling the menace.
And also it makes sense that you have to secure the country or any institution to properly manage it. If there is no security, a lot of resources for infrastructural development are diverted to buying arms and ammunition, which are not very productive.
President Buhari also made a case for more intervention by the international community towards recharging the receding Lake Chad.
About 30 million people around the Lake Chad benefit from the lake in terms of fishing, farming, animal husbandry. And with the drying up of the Chad, that's what is aggravating our problem. And we have people define the Sahara Desert and the Mediterranean to go to Europe, where they feel it's more comfortable. So I think it's in our own interest to make sure that inter-basin transfer is affected as soon as practicable.
The doing of the diplomatic community, Ambassador Salahuddin Ibrahim commended President Muhammadu Buhari for not only making their stay highly fulfilling in Nigeria, but also his commitment towards genuine growth and development of the country.
The first term was characterized by your relentless efforts in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria, the fight against corruption, the various infrastructural and agricultural achievements, and also in the domain of power. During your second tenure, Mr. President, you committed yourself to move forward and take Nigeria to the next level. But knowing you and your determination, we have no doubt that you will take Nigeria far beyond the next level.
Mr. President acknowledges the deepening cordial relations and the expression of love and solidarity to our people and government by your various countries. This is evident in your attendance in these functions this evening, which further attests to the bond and shared values of friendship, tolerance, humility, which are all common to all the faith and which Mr. President holds dear.
As the envoys depart, President Muhammadu Buhari looks forward to receiving their respective heads of state and government at the nation's Democracy Day celebration on the 12th of June this year. From the State House, Ahmed Musa, NTA News.
Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, this Monday formally assumed duty for a second term after subscribing to the relevant oath of office administered by the bank's Secretary and Director, Corporate Secretariat Department, Mrs. Alice Karau. This was sequel to his reappointment by President Muhammadu Buhari and confirmation by the Senate. Leah Katun Babatunde has details.
The second coming. A visibly elated Mr. Mefele was received into the Apex Bank by the 4 deputy governors and excited staff that thronged the venue of the oath-taking ceremony chanting his name. In his remarks, the governor expressed gratitude to God, President Muhammadu Buhari for nominating him, and the Senate for confirming his appointment. He also thanked the management and staff as well as the media for all their support during his first term in office. While disclosing that he will unfold a new roadmap for the bank and the economy in the coming days, he charged all stakeholders to strengthen efforts in building a healthy and stable system in the best interest of Nigeria.
In my second term in office, part of our pledge will be to work to the best of our abilities in supporting these objectives, and I will crave your indulgence to please work with us in this onerous assignment.
The governor also reiterated the goal to make the CBN more people-focused, adding that the bank remained resolute in the belief that the bank must play an active role in supporting job and wealth creation.
That is exactly why Mr. President found you worthy for reappointment, and we here can testify to it. You have impacted not only on the lives of your fellow Nigerian citizens, you have done so particularly for your staff.
In your second term, you will see more, and you will be able to conquer more.
And that gives us hope that there are more opportunities for women, opportunities in areas that women have never been given a chance in the past.
In Abuja, I'm Leah Kating Babatunde, NTA News.
Federal government continues to make progress towards diversifying the economy by bridging maritime infrastructure gap expected to promote waterway operations for hinterland transit and coastal trade for bulk cargo. This was made known at a signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Nexim Bank, NIWA and C-Link in Abuja. Oinaya Kaloka reports.
The Memorandum of Understanding between Nexim, NIWA and C-Link, stakeholders maintain, is a major step in the journey to reverse the dependency of Nigeria's economy on oil and open up the vast untapped opportunities that the inland waterways can offer.
The Nigerian economy has serious infrastructural deficits. Without having the right infrastructure, you cannot trade with each other. Countries and companies are looking for ways to move their goods cheaper, faster, and cost-effectively.
The MOU will further strengthen the partnership to improve logistics service delivery and enhance hinterland trade.
It's going to bring efficiency in trade. It's going to cut down the cost of trade. It's going to bring other SMEs and other traders from the informal sector of the economy onto the formal sector.
We'll be shifting a lot of load off the roads. And of course, it will increase connectivity among the West African states, and Nigeria stands to benefit between $500 to $1.3 billion in terms of what we stand to gain.
The strategic interest and partnership for the promotion of the regional C-Link project was kicked off by Nexim in 2011. Oinea Kaloka, NTA News.
Let's take another quick break now. Flying Eagles failed to progress in the ongoing FIFA Under-20 World Cup after a 2-1 loss to Senegal in Portland Monday evening. And that's it on NTN Network News tonight. Thanks for watching. I'm Joseph Johnson. From all of us, good night.